so lonely. If you leave me, let me down slowly. Let me down.
What moment in an argument made you realize this person is an idiot and there is no winning scenario? An old roommate of mine was trying to say we were blackmailing her when we were asking her to take out her trash, etc. She said, "Watch the Lizzie McGuire movie. There's blackmail in there and it's obvious that's what you're doing to me." I believe it goes without saying that she never cleaned up after herself, nor did she understand that movie. Co-worker would constantly preach against GMOs, parabens, only use oils when sick, etc. She told me I was going to get cancer from my deodorant, and the corn I bought was mutant. Then she'd go outside and smoke 3 cigarettes every 2 hours. People who say stuff like, "Okay, that's your opinion, but I have my own," when discussing about objective facts, like science issues, meaning of words. My cousins are flat earthers. When lack of evidence is just proof of a conspiracy, it's best to just disengage. You can't break into that prison, they have to break out.
You can't reason someone out of a position they didn't reason themselves into.
Exactly this. A discussion with someone about the process of getting a license. Obviously they didn't have one, and didn't believe that you had to do a 5-hour driving class to get one. The moment came when they tried the whole "you can't always believe stuff from the internet," and we're just like, "A, you jump on pretty much any conspiracy theory you find on the internet, and B, we're on the beeping DMV's website." They seriously still didn't believe it, and tried to go the whole "you gotta use Google to win" arguments route. That whole "please provide proof of every point you've made using sources I approve of" thing, when they've shown you made up beep from nonsense sources, and then out the aisle wait. Yeah, do your own homework and you're right, you will wait forever. The airlock is that way. Oh, that drives me insane. Someone has a source that is clearly full of crap, or lacks a source but has a silly meme and wants you to prove some insane beep. And when you provide a few basic samples, "Oh, I don't believe CNN/NPR/encyclopedias/whatever. I want a sourced and proven study from somewhere." Beep, this is a study from the Department of Justice on immigrant violence. It has those sources. Read the bibliography. Sorry, they have an agenda. I know, because a friend of mine said those racial groups are all out there just raping and robbing everyone. And they're all men too. Sigh.
I did this to someone for a very good reason. I was trying to convince my father that climate change is a real thing by showing him NASA's website on all the occurring symptoms of climate change. All he could show me and believed fervently was a blog by a conservative journalist who said climate change wasn't real. I nearly lost my mind trying to tell him that I believe NASA over literally any other source.
The biggest reason I avoid discussing politics in real life. People have their beliefs. Anything that contradicts them is seen as bad and can't be correct. I used to have discussions with a Turkish friend who loves Erdogan. They would never go anywhere because our news is fake and has an agenda. Turkish news is the only reliable source. The West has it out for Turkey, etc. Then I live in a house with climate change deniers who all think humans have no impact on the climate, and the researches I bring to the table are propaganda made by and funded by left-wing tree-hugging parties who want to eliminate the oil industry so they can make all the money. I think the only reason they refuse to believe in it is that they're afraid of the thought of having to make sacrifices in the future to save our planet. And because right-wing media is doing a great way at alienating the climate change protesters. A co-worker went on a rant about how all teachers are lazy and only work from 8 to 3 while taking loads of holiday time while doing minimal work. I come from a family of teachers, so I could see the time put in at home, the lost weekends, the days of doing work till 7 p.m., the last 2 weeks of every summer holiday spent in school prepping the classroom for the next year, buying materials out of their own pocket because the school budget wouldn't cover it. My co-worker's response? Well, I'm a parent, so I know more about it than you do. I nearly flipped my beeping lid. A guy said to me, quote, anecdotal evidence is all I need because it describes my truth, and my truth is reality. Bro.
Then splash a glass of water in his face and say, welcome to my reality.
I got his name and said, oh, your name is Thomas. I only knew one Thomas, and he was a rapist. 1 out of 1 people that I know named Thomas are rapists, and that means you are too, because that's my reality. My best friend knows I'm headed into the military and he keeps saying have fun in the army. I tell him I'm enlisted to the Navy. I know, isn't the Navy part of the army? We had a back and forth argument that the Navy is part of the military and army is a separate branch, but he insists that the word army and military have the same meaning. I was asked if I could prove that more people die of cancer than fat shaming. Threw my hands up and walked away. I kept asking my 2-year-old son for help with my calculus homework. This beeper didn't even know how to add. Kept looking at me and yelling jello.
I remember when my 5-year-old told me I was the best dad in the world. What the hell does he know? He's only 5.
I overheard an argument between a man and his wife. He was adamant he was right about something, I forget the specifics, and she countered with an actual fact that proved him wrong that even he had to admit was correct. His response was to dismiss her with the phrase, that wasn't the point I was trying to make. It was as if the man was saying, quote, there has never been a black president, and the wife replies, quote, what about Obama? And he comes back with, quote, that was not the point I was trying to make. Such a person is incapable of admitting they were wrong.
Moving goalposts is a troll tactic at best, abusive at worst. You may be right, but that's not the point. I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about insert new tangent that keeps the other on the defensive.
When my ex-girlfriend would get drunk and bring up something I had no idea was an issue, me not being emotional enough, spending too much time playing video games, etc. I quickly realized she didn't want to actually discuss or hear what I had to say, she just wanted to freak out and tell me how bad of a person I was.
I'm glad to hear that she's an example.
A friend of mine said in an argument that only mentally weak people suffer from mental health problems. I was in an argument with someone who believed there's a cure for cancer, but pharma makes more money from treating it than curing it. I work in cancer research, so I could go on for days about why that's rubbish, but instead I just asked. Patrick Swayze died of cancer. Was he not beloved enough for the cure? Steve Jobs died of cancer. Was he not rich enough to buy the cure? Ted Kennedy died of cancer. Was he not politically influential enough for the cure? Her response, well, I just believe what I believe. You're not going to ever change that. I wouldn't say she's an idiot in general. She's actually someone I really like and respect. But in this particular situation, she was clearly an idiot. When I was told don't believe everything you see on the internet after linking multiple reputable news articles and a video of it being discussed in Congress and official reports about the concentration camps in America, The ignorance completely dumbfounded me. Starting to quote the Bible or referring to any religious book